Hey everybody, hope everyone can see and hear me okay. Thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about color sort. It's a function that is in Brilliance, and I get a lot of questions about it. And I also have seen that people don't really understand when's the right time to use it and when is not the right time to use it. Okay. So I know it probably won't take a whole hour to explain this function, but the thing is, I want to do it in detail because a lot of people get confused on how it actually works. So, one of the things that I want to do, and let me shut this down. One of the things that I want to do is I want to make sure that I explain it in really, really good detail so that folks know exactly what it is, what it does, when you should use it, and when you really shouldn't use it. Okay. It can be a really great tool, but it can also be a tool that can mess you up if you don't know how to properly use it. Okay. So I'm hoping that this will help a lot of folks with misperceptions of what it is and show you guys exactly step by step how you should actually use that. And I'm also going to see if I can properly, hopefully, explain it in detail in certain designs when it's really not the best thing to do. Okay. When you shouldn't really be using color sort and you should just like go regular embroidery. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing my screen a lot, and I'm going to be telling you guys what I am doing, how I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, and all that kind of stuff. Because you guys know I'm very detailed. I'm all about teaching and showing people. Okay. Because this is something that is really misunderstood. I noticed that a lot, and I'm really kind of doing it because someone used it and they used it in a time when they really should not have used it, and they kind of messed up one of their blanks. So I want to really like show you guys how to do it so that way you guys don't make this mistake. Okay. So I already see people have joined in the chat, so I really want to talk about the color sort and color sort and in Brilliance. Okay. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Okay. So what it is. Color sort is a function that is available in Brilliance. Okay. Why do we use it and why do we need it? What it is it's a way for you to reorganize your design so that you first do one color of the whole design, then you're going to do the next color, and then the next color, and then the next color. One of the things that people like about this function is, especially for those that have single needle machines, is that what you do is, like, let's say the first color is a red. I put in my red thread in the machine, and then I just embroider all the red that is in that design. Then I move to my next color, and then I embroider the next color in that design. I will never touch the red thread again because I already embroidered with my red thread. Okay. So basically what it is just putting all the colors in order. So that way, all you have to do is just take that thread, that color, put it in the machine, and then you just embroider that color, and then you just go on to the next. And you don't go back and forward between the colors, because sometimes in a design, it'll start with a red, and then it'll go with a blue or a green or a yellow or purple. Then you go right back to a red. Then you go right back to the purple. Then you go back to the green. And a lot of times people don't like that because they kind of look at it as it's a lot of back and forth between the colors, right? So in some designs, this is something that can be very useful to use because it's going to save a lot of time with the color changes, especially if you have a single needle. However, though, it depends on the design that you are using that will determine whether you can use this functionality or not. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to share my screen, and I'm going to do a little demo of the color sort feature. Okay. So I'm actually going to, let me close some of these windows here so that I can make sure, and I got my iPad on the side so that I can make sure that you guys can fully see what I am trying to show you guys, okay? So let me hit present, okay? And I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to do the entire window because I like doing the entire window. I'm going to hit share. Okay, I'm going to close this off, and I'm going to bring up my Embrilliance, okay? And I'm going to make sure, I'm looking over here on the side to make sure that's exactly what you see. I should have closed that. Let me see. Do you see Embrilliance or not? I don't think you do. All right, let's try this another way. Okay, let's try this another way here. Okay, hold on. Oh, technology, I tell you. Okay, so, okay, hold on. I am determined to get this working, guys. Present, share screen. Okay, that's just a Chrome. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to show, I wanted to show this. Okay, here we go. I think I hit the wrong button. Okay, so hopefully you guys see my screen. Awesome. This is what I wanted you guys to see. Okay, so I'm going to blow this up. Enter full screen. Okay, here we go. I'm entering the full screen. Hopefully you guys see everything. Awesome. Okay, guys. All right. So let's play around with this and let's see what this is all about. Now, when you go under in your menu, okay, if you have the module, and I believe there's a certain module you have to color sort, and then we'll get back to that later, and I'll tell you which model it is, okay, which module it is of Embrilliance, all right? But let's just talk about what it is and how we use it and all that good stuff, okay? Under utility, you're going to see, and I clicked on utility, and I see you don't see it on your screen, which is why, hold on 1 minute. Let me get out of here because this is not it. This is just not it. Exit the full screen. I'm sorry, guys. Just give me a minute. I got to make sure. Present, share screen, entire screen, share. There we go. Now I'm going to lower this, and I'm going to go. Okay, make sure that you guys can see what I see. Did I lower it? There we go. Awesome. This is what I want you to see. I'm making it a little bit bigger now. Okay, just give me a minute and I will get it together. Got it. Okay. When I hit utility, do you guys see utility? I think it's a little slow. There you go. This is what I wanted you guys to see, okay? Because you guys know I'm very detailed. I like everything to show so that you guys know what I'm talking about. So if you see on the top of the screen right here where it has the Embrilliance file edit utility, under utility, you're going to see an option that's called color sort, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about when I'm going to actually use it, when it's a must, okay? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to change the settings of my hoop, okay? And I'm going to pick a big hoop. I'm going to do an 8x13. There you go. And then also what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to pick a certain font, and it's an applique font, okay? Let's see, I got one right here, and I'm going to pick one that's just like, I don't know, 2 inches. And then I'll put the name Carl. We'll use my son's name, okay? C-A-R. There we go. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Stitch Simulator. Usually when you are doing certain appliques, right, one of the things it does is it runs a certain order, right? It does one letter, and it does a placement, tack down, and it fills it in, right? Then the next one, placement, tack down, fills it in. If you look over here on this side, that's exactly what you see right here. You see the pink, the orange, and then the beige. Pink, orange, beige, pink, orange, beige, pink, orange, beige, and so forth, right? So you see the madness in here, right? Now what I'm going to do is I clicked on the stitch simulator right here, and I'm going to draw it out, okay? So that way you can see. Here is your placement. Here is your tack down. And then here is the final. Then it's going to go back to the other one, the A. Well, here goes the final. There you go. Okay, it's filling it all in. See how it's the satin stitch. Now you're going to go to your A. Here's your placement. There's your tack down. And then here's all the final stitching for the A. And then so on. Okay, now with color sort, okay, if you were to do this as it is in this design, what's going to happen is you're going to do your C, put the fabric down, tack it down, take it off the machine, cut it up, put it back on the machine, finish the satin stitch. Then do the letter A, placement stitch, tack down, take it off the machine, cut the letter A, put it back in the machine, finish it up. And repeat and repeat and repeat. If you only have one or two letters, you may not really care. It may not bother you. You'd be like, that's fine. However, though, once you pass kind of like two letters, like right here, or let's say you have my name, okay, Jeanette, which has 8 letters, that's going to be a pretty long time, because what's going to happen is you're going to be taking it in and out of the machine several times. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is, how can I make this as simple as possible, okay, where I can take, I don't have to take it off the machine so many times, right? So let's do this. So now what I'm going to do is, I have this name, and as you can see right here on the right hand side, it has all these. All right. So I haven't done this in a while, so I hope I remember, but I'm sure I'm good. I'm going to highlight the name. Okay. And then I'm going to go up here, and then I'm going to hit color sort. Now it's sorting. And as you can see right here, it has this statement. Blech, I'm tongue-tied tonight. It says the design page has been reduced to 9 color changes. Okay. Now what you're going to do is, I'm going to click new view. When I click new view, okay, it's going to pop up a new page, okay, because right here is the original. But notice right here, it gave me a whole new page. Now I'm going to look on here, and I want you to see I only have 3 steps. But I'm going to go over here to where the stitch count is, right? And then I want you also look here over here on the right, okay? You know, remember how before we had all these, like, colors, and they were like a whole bunch of them down here? Now you only got 3. Okay, and this is what's going to happen. Now let's run the stitch simulator, and let's see how it's going to stitch out. So here goes your C, here goes your A, here goes your R, and your L. Then right here, this pink right here, this area right here where you see the thing, that's the tack down. So here we are tacking it down. Okay. Now this long strip right here, okay, that you see, this is going to be the actual satin stitch. And see how it does it all in a certain order? Okay. So if you really think about it, if I had this the way, if I stitched it out the way, it had all these different, every letter individually, then what ends up happening is I would probably take like a good, maybe, I don't know, depending on how fast I cut, maybe a half hour or something like that. But now that, because I have it sorted, I am just putting the placement, I would just do placement stitch again, I would just let the placement stitch go, lay down my fabrics, okay? Then let the tack down stitch go. Then I would take it out of my machine, cut out all my letters, Okay, because right here I have all my letters and stuff. And then what I would do is just let it ride. After I would put it back in the machine, it's going to ride. Okay, that's how it is. Now I am going to tell you something. Look at this R. It's a little funky, right? I need to get rid of that. Okay, I wouldn't stitch it out like this. Even though if you think about it, you have the fabric on top. Let me make sure of that. Yeah. See, because even though it has it like this, okay, this right here, the fabric, you're going to put it on there. So you're not going to see this. All right. So I wouldn't even bother messing with that. But I want to see how the rest of it, because I could have swore there was another. Yep. There's a jump stitch right there. So you can do one of two things. You can modify the design to remove that jump stitch, or you can go ahead and then just click it with your scissors. Honestly, it's just one little stitch. I would just cut it with the scissor. But if you want to take that out, let me show you how I would do that. Okay. Right here, see how it goes like that? So right here, I will do forward, forward, forward. Okay. And I'm going to go slow so you guys can see. Right there, that's the jump. See the jump? Go back. Okay. I'm going back. I'm going to click stop. And now I'm going to pick another color. Just any color. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay. Because don't worry about it. Hit OK. And if you notice, everything else goes, but that jump stitch is gone. The one that was right there, I just removed that. Okay. Now what you do is right here, if you go over to the right, and then right here where I have my cursor, I want to make sure I'm showing all you guys the right stuff right there. Then you would highlight that, and then you would change the color back to the original color. Okay, I don't have these color schemes. It would be, I guess, 19 something. So, I mean, 1987. Yeah, 1987. So I would do color, I guess, number 1987. Go. Oh, I have brother. That's Madeira Poly. So let me go down to Madeira Poly and go. And 1987. There you go. Hit OK. And there you go. Okay, so there I have it golden. And then I would save the file. And then I would go ahead and then I would just stitch this out. And it would be perfect because you're not going to see that jump stitch anymore. Okay, so this is just a way that you would use color sort. Okay, now there is also another way you can save color source. Let's go back to here. Right, this is the original file. Now remember, I highlighted the name over to the right, and then I went to utility, and then I selected color sort. When I did color sort, okay, I hit new view. Another way you can do is you can do save it. And what it'll do is it'll save it under another name. And then you would go and do file open. Just to eliminate those steps, okay, just hit new view. And what it'll do is just what happened before. Right here, as you saw, let me cancel that. As you saw, it opened up a whole separate window with the new file showing all of the color sorts. Now, if you see right here, you kind of like notice that it went from 3 to 4 stops, right? Don't worry about that. It's the same color, okay? So it's going to keep going because what's going to happen is it's going to stop and then it's going to say, oh, I'm going to continue on with the same color, and it's going to go. You still only have 3 colors that are sorted, okay? Now, when should you not use this? And how do I know if I shouldn't use it? Okay. Now, remember, let me take this down. Let's have a conversation a little bit here about that. I'm gonna stop sharing, but hold on. Where are we? Where's my thing? Okay, let's remove that. Let's have this conversation now. Okay. Now, as you can see, color sort can be a really neat feature. All right. But the problem is that there are going to be situations where this is not the feature to use at that moment. Okay. And when how do I know that? I'll tell you in a minute. Let me pull out some samples. I should have pulled this out earlier. Okay. So that way we could have looked at it together. All right. Let's look at some samples over here. I got some samples right here. And I also have another customer sample that I was working on. I'm still working on that dog. Do you believe that? I'm still working on the dog. I'm so determined on that. Hold on. Where is the dog? All right. I don't know where I put the dog. Do you believe that? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. So let's look at some designs where color sort may not be the right choice. Okay? And when it can be. Obviously, this isn't a problem. One color. Okay? This isn't a problem either. Let's look at. Okay, hold on. All right. Let's look at this design. It could be. This could be a good example of it. Okay. I have this logo. Okay. If you notice, the logo only has a blue, a black, a red, and a white. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, that I got this file, right? And then what happens is when I do that stitch simulator, which is like so super helpful, I highly recommend that when you are embroidering, okay, and you're considering using color sort, that you make sure that you use the stitch simulator, because you want to see how the machine is going to stitch out your design. That is what's going to tell you whether you should be using color sort, or if it's an option you should use it, or if you shouldn't. For example, if I have this logo, right, and let's say that when I am embroidering this, it does the blue, then it does the black, then it does the red, and then it goes and does the black and then the white. There is no reason, by looking at this design, because look at how it's laid out, there is no reason why I can't do color sort here. Because it would be really great if it does just the blue, then let's say it goes to the black. Do this black, then do this black, then go to the red and do the white. If I let the machine do it the way it was designed, which was blue, black, red, black, white, okay, that means that I would have to pull the black thread twice. I would have to put the black thread on the machine so that it can embroider this. Then I would take it out of the machine, put in the red thread so that it can embroider this area right here. Then I would have to put the black back in, and then it would create the square, and then I would put the white, and then it would do the lettering, okay? If you do color sort with this, what'll happen is the blue goes the black, which means that once the black is done, I don't have to redo it anymore. Then I would just put in the red and then the white. So this is a situation where you could use color sort, okay? Now, how could you really tell? The way you tell is how the stitches are laid. As you can see, this black is very independent, okay? this black thread that you see right here, it doesn't lay on other pieces of thread. So you're not messing up the texture of how the design is going to be laid out. And you see this black right here, it's just a box, okay? And the box has to be stitched out first. However, though, one of the things to be conscientious of, when you're doing the color sort, right? You know, by the way that this stitches out, the black has to be stitched out before the white thread. So you have to make sure that you pay attention to the order of how the colors stitch out. Because if you do a color sort and then you see that the white stitches before the black, what's going to happen is the lettering's going to stitch and then the black's going to go on top. So what I am saying is, when you do your color sort, pay attention to how the colors are being stitched out. And always use the stitch simulator so that you can see how it's actually going to stitch. You want to make sure that this black portion is going to stitch before the lettering, okay? So that's one example, okay? So in here, this is an example where I recommend color sort because that's going to save you time, all right? Let me go through my little stitches here. Another one for color sort. Would I or wouldn't I? All right. We got this logo right here. This cannot. No, it can. Hold on. Let me think. See, that's the thing. And I'm going to tell you something. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to embroidery, okay? When I talk about when you are embroidering stuff, you have to plan. This is part of the planning process, okay? Because this is what I'm thinking right here as I am looking at this. I know this is solid. I can probably do all this first. All my lettering I can do later. What I'm concerned about is this little area right here. It's white, and then I have to stitch out the red and the gray. Okay, so can I do color sort here? My answer to this would be yes. Okay, because I would have to make sure that the layers of color of thread that has to go to the bottom stitches out first. Then I elevate it and make sure that the colors that need to be up here are here. So what I would do is I would do the red, the black, then I would do, because the red would do this, the black would do this, then I would do my grays, because the gray will do the outlines, the outline here, the outline here. Then I would do the whites, okay, because the whites are a big play here, and it goes right on top of here, goes right on top of here and right here, and then the reds. That's how I would color sort this, okay, and stuff. So I know that color sorting this would definitely work, okay? So like I said, you have to pay attention to the colors and how they stitch out. You want to make sure, because like I was saying before, just like on this, let's say I didn't pay attention, right? And then when I did the color sort, I said I want white to go first. Well, what's going to happen is this is going to stitch out, all the wording's going to stitch out, and then when it's time for the red to stitch, the red is going to stitch right over this wording, and it's going to stitch right over here. Okay, so you got to pay attention to that. You really do. Okay, so that's another one. Okay, that you can do. Okay, yes, you can. You can do it on this. However, you just have to pay attention to the order of the colors when they actually stitch, because you want to make sure that you're not that the color that you want to be laid on top of the red, actually this white gets stitched way after the red, okay? Or the white gets stitched after the black, okay? So you got to pay attention to that order. I hope I didn't lose some of you guys, okay? But it's just something to think about, okay? Now, let's go to more complex design, okay? Do you think that this can be color sorted? Okay. My answer, honestly, think yes, it can. It can. Okay. It's 6 colors, okay? And it is color sorted already because the digitizer did that for me. But I do not, let me see, when I stitched this, I did not see any back and forth between the colors. So this is, you just have to make sure, if you look at this in detail, right? You see the white on the dog, all that is stitched out first. Then the gold gets stitched out on top of the white. And then the dark brown gets stitched on top of the gold, okay? And then the black gets stitched on top of the other designs. So this is color sorted, okay? Now, I'm trying to see where would I not do a color sort. Hold on. I'm trying to get one for you. Hold on. Because, you know, I have some. Pretty simple. Let's see. Would I do this color sort? Bingo. No. Take a look at it real good. Look at the colors. Okay. Look at how it's stitched out. I'm going to try to put it as close to the camera as possible. And I want you guys to see that. Now, would I color sort this? No. Why? Let me show you why. Let's look at this lettering right here, okay? At the bottom, you have red. Then on top of the red, you have white and you have black, okay? Look at down here. The colors are opposite. Look at the cigars. You have the red on top, the white, and the black. The white is at the bottom of the design in front of the dog. See that? Okay. Also, look at the Q right here. See right here on this outline? See how the red is at the bottom? Then you have the white, and then you have the black. Okay. This design will require you to go back and forth on it. If you do all reds first, then what's going to happen is this space right here is going to embroider first. Or let's take another example. Let's say you do the black first. Okay, look at the cigars and you do the black first. The red will go on top of the black. So it could look a little funky and stuff like that, okay? You might be able to make out the design, but it's not going to look crisp and clean, okay? And remember, that's what you want. You want your designs to have that clear finish look, okay? So you would really have to double check this design to make sure that any of these colors that should be on top doesn't accidentally go in the bottom, okay? Yeah. I would not color sort this at all, because this is going to go back and forth between some of the colors and stuff like that. So I want you to look at it again, so that way you guys can really soak it in. Okay. See how the red, especially around the cigars, it's like the red's on top, the white's at the bottom. And then if you look at the name and you look at the letter Q, you see the reverse, right? So yeah, that's important. So this one I would not color sort. Okay. Let me see if I have any others. The others that I have are pretty simple logos. A lot of times when customers ask for logos, they're very simple. They're small. They have simple colors and stuff like that. This is all just name, same color, one color, one color, one color. So this is not a good example and stuff. I think the only complicated one I had was really the cheese, really. Yeah. So basically, this is really the thing. When you want to use color sort, you should always do the stitch simulator, because the stitch simulator is really going to let you know how it's going to stitch out. And if there is a different color that you need to be on top of another color, you need to make sure that that doesn't get lost in the color sort function. Okay. So a lot of people, they have the perception that, oh, color sort, I should be able to color sort anything and everything, right? I don't know. That's not necessarily true. You really have to watch how your design is going to stitch. A lot of times people, what they do is they just take a design, they color sort it, they put it in the machine, and then when they pull it out, they notice that it's a little messy, or that the words got dug in. Okay, it didn't, the words should have been on top, and then all of a sudden they're at the bottom. You got to remember, when you're doing color sort, you're also shifting the colors a little bit, so you want to make sure it's coming out in a particular order that you want it to come out. Okay, so I hope that kind of helps you guys, because there has been a lot of questions about this feature, and it's a feature that people really do like. Now, one of the things that I want to also tell you is, now that I know, hold on, I'm going to look it up real quick. What is the module that comes with the color sort? Okay, because there's so many different modules on there. And let me see, I'm going to get this out of here. Let me see, I wonder if it's essentials. Hold on, I don't want to tell you wrong. Let me see. Okay, has all of that. Color sizes, converting. Hold on, I'm trying to figure this out. Convert letters, objects. Nope, that's not it. I should have tried to figure this out before. Advanced basting. I think it is essentials. Is it? I don't know. If you guys know, put it in the chat, because I'm struggling a little bit right now and stuff as to where it is in essentials. Thank you, Eartha. Appreciate it. Okay, I thought it was, because I was like, God, I hope people don't have to buy something extra for it. Okay. Yeah, I could have swore that it was, that it's something that was part of it. Yep. Sort color. Stop. Okay. Got it. Yep. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your help. Okay, guys. So I want to go down the chat, because I want to see what you guys think about how I explained it, or if you guys have any questions of it, because it's something that is very useful. Okay, if you know how to use it correctly and you know what to watch for. Okay. It is something that I have used a lot, when I am doing especially applique designs. It really saves you a lot of time. All right. So, it's something that, people have it when you buy it, like, like Earth was saying, you get essentials, you have all this extra functionality with essentials. But sometimes what happens is people just open up files, they save them, they'll put just the names, the fonts, and everything like that. But they have all this extra functionality and essentials that really helps you to do things a lot easier and better. And they just don't understand it, or they just, they don't know about it, or, don't know how to use it. Okay. So, I really wanted to share that with you guys because it is important. It's something that is, like I said, very useful, but you just really have to understand what it's doing, how it's doing it, and how you can use that so that way you don't mess up your stuff. Okay. And as always, if you are not sure if the color sort worked for the design that you are doing, what I recommend you do is try to do the color sort. And as always, okay, if you love embroidery, okay, you wouldn't mind doing this, test your designs before you move those designs to blanks. Okay. You want to make sure that it's going to stitch out correctly and you're going to get that result that you want. Because as I said plenty of times, if the stitch out that you are doing, especially if you're doing this for customers, is not good quality work, it's going to mess you up. You know what I'm saying? So don't even touch the color sort. That if you're not going to take the time to test stitch or to do that stitch simulator to make sure that it's actually going to come out the way you want it, don't do it. Okay. So let's see. Tammy says, I love color sort. Color sort is a lifesaver. It is, Tammy. It really is. But it could be a life killer if you really don't understand it and don't know how to use it properly. So that's why I really wanted to take this time to show you guys how to properly use it. Okay, because a lot of people misunderstand it. So I'm going to go through. I'm going to say hi to you guys. If you guys have questions about it, let me know, because I don't have a problem sharing screens again and doing it again and again until you guys got it. Okay. I want it to be as detailed as possible. If there is anything that I left out that you think would really help people understand, please put it in the chat. Okay. So that way we can know how to do that. And talk about the chat. I hope I turned on the functionality for the replay. I think I forgot to do that. Isn't there something? I hope. Oh man. Let me see if I can fix that. Hopefully I can fix it. I'm gonna try to fix this now while I have this here, because I think that's like super important to do. Customize, replay, save. Okay, awesome. Okay, I wanted to do that because I'm like, whew, hopefully it'll save the chat. Because I always like having the chats on my lives, because sometimes when people watch the replays, they do watch the chats that's going on. And sometimes somebody can point out something that's like, I forgot. You know what I'm saying? And everything. So, okay, I'm going down. Hey, Marlene, how you doing? I saw that you're moving. Hey, Robin, how are you? Hey, Jenny, I see Karen. Hey, B, Rumlin, how you doing? Miss Max, Tammy, Eartha, Sassy, how you doing? Rhonda, Iris, D, Mallory, Angela, Stitches, I see Judy, Joanne. Hey, Crafty Puerto Rican, how you doing? Let's see, Christina's here. Hey, Nancy, how are you? Marlene, how you doing? Or Miriam, sorry, Miriam. Let's see. Hey, Susan, how are you? Let's see. Don't see. Hey, Baby Giant. Hey, Debbie. So creative. How are you, Kathy? See Debbie. Hey, C McKee. How are you? Debbie White. Oh, look at that. Debbie White. There you go. She says she bought an eagle flag on the flag design for a denim jacket, 15 colors, 26 color changes. It warned not to color sort because of depth of colors. See, and sometimes, Debbie, thank you so much for pointing that out. Sometimes what happens is some folks, when they sell designs, right, they actually know that people will be tempted to do color sorting, okay? Because think about it, it is a lifesaver, right? It's think about it, she has 26 color changes. So that means that 15 colors. So that means some of those colors she's going to be rethreading the machine to embroider, taking it out, probably taking it back into the machine to embroider, a couple of times. So people are tempted because all the color changes, that takes time, right? So people really do it for time saving. That's really what it's all about. And they just don't want to do the back and forward thing. But not all designs will stitch out nicely if you do that. So if you are buying a design, always be conscientious of that. Really take a look at the picture that they show you of that design. And by looking at it, sometimes you can really pick out whether this is going to be something you can color sort or not. And if you're not sure, okay, before you buy it, let's say you get a design and you really want to use the color sort, you really don't want to spend all this time going back and forth with the different colors, you can actually just email the digitizer and ask them, would I be able to color sort this design? Do you recommend that it's okay to do that? And they'll tell you, just like they just told her, this is not something that they recommend. They told Debbie, don't do it, because they know that it's not going to lay out right. It's not going to look good. So you don't want to do that. So be conscientious of that, okay? And Rita said, hey, Jeanette, on a multi-deal, do you ever do color sort? And does it matter at all? I do color sort, Rita, but I do that for applique designs mostly, okay? Because with a multi-needle machine, all the different colors are already on there, right? So does it really save me time? It really doesn't. It will save me time, though, if I do applique. Okay, so that's when I say color sorting comes in handy when you're trying to do that. So just like the example I just showed you before with my son's name, Carl, and how before I would, you would be taking that out of the machine several times to cut the fabric. But if I'm just doing all the same, just color sort it. And even if it's different fabrics, okay, just place the different, fabric on each letter. Run the machine slow so that you can make sure you have the fabrics laid out for the particular letter that you want, and then just cut it. And then you'll be good to go. As a matter of fact, I should do a video on that, because I'm sure people are probably like, huh, what do you mean by different fabrics? So, but I can do a video and show you guys how to do that. Really simple. I mean, it's not hard. So, with the multi-needle machine, it is still a useful feature. It is, Rita. Hey, Margot, how you doing? Hey, Miss Felisa. Hey, Ozzy, how are you? Yep, Nicey people told me it is in essentials. Eartha and Marlene put that out there. Hey, Karen. Hey, Eleanor, how are you? And let's see. Hey, Shannon, how you doing? Anna Marie. I saw the title and I said yes. Well, I'm glad. I hope this helps you. Let's see, Scrapping Memories, how are you? Hey, Anna, how you doing? Sean, Peggy, how you doing? Okay, so today's was pretty quick. Well, if you really think about it, it really wasn't, because it did take an hour. So, but I really wanted to show you the details of color sort. I really, really, really did. Now, because I am done with the topic, because this was, I'm thinking maybe for embroidery happy hour, maybe I could do like different functions of the software, different things, just to show you guys an in-depth. This is probably, a good thing topic to, hey Kokrina, how you doing? To hit. But now that I finished talking about the color sort, I do want to talk about the new event that I got going on. Okay, as you guys know, the Christmas for July registration closed up. Okay, no more registrations. Done. Everybody that has joined the Christmas in July has been paired off with someone already. So if you don't know who you are making a gift for, make sure you reach out to me. Make sure you post it on Facebook and stuff like that, or send me a message through Facebook, or even send me a message through the Fster gift exchange website, and I will make sure you have the information that you need. Okay, the items have to be mailed out by July 15th. Okay, and then we're gonna do our show and tell at the end of July. I got my person, okay, and the person, I'm like, I know the person. I'm like, oh boy. So I decided this year, well, for this exchange, um, I do not want to embroider. So, like I said, if I am embroidering a gift, it's because my sewing really sucked. Okay. But I went through my stash of sewing patterns, and I have some sewing patterns on here that I thought would be pretty neat for me to sew, learn, and then gift. Okay. So I got this one, which was S904. Okay. And I kind of like this one because it has a sewing mat, and it has the little catch-all. I kind of like this right here. And it has these little cute stuff. It even has on here like a cover and little sewing weights. You can do sewing weights and stuff, and scissor cover and all that. So I was like, this is pretty neat. And it even has like a little needle book. Okay. So I was thinking this is pretty neat. So I'm going to pick some patterns from here, and I'm going to sew them. I'm actually going to videotape me sewing them, but I'm not going to post them the video. I'm not going to post the video until after the show and tell, because I will probably give the first name of the person that I'm going to be gifting it to when I do the video. So I don't want like for that person to go, oh, she got me, so I've been looking at this sewing pattern. Okay. Then I also looked at this as well. This is pretty easy. It's just those little, boxes and stuff. And I've done these, but I will say these have been a challenge for me because of the box corners. For some reason, I cannot get those box corners straight. So we'll see if I can get them straight for the gift exchange. Okay, so this was another package that I was looking at. This was the S9525. Now, by the way, also, if you guys are looking for sewing patterns, if you go to Joanne, wait for them to send you the advertisements, and they actually sell these for like $1.99. Okay, so don't pay full price for these sewing patterns. Wait till you get the $1.99 sale, and then you go over there and you buy your sewing patterns. Okay, because these things can be expensive. Because if you look on the back, like this one, it has like 1995, something like that. And then this one right here, the first one I showed you guys, let's see. Yep, this is like $19, but instead of paying $40, I just paid $2 each one, $1.99. Okay. Then I also saw this one. Okay. I just want to show you the sewing patterns I'm looking at. And I liked this one because it had like a little tote bag. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I could sew a little tote bag, and then I could sew like these little neat things and then put them inside the bag as little gifts, right? Because I was thinking, okay. And then they have like these little carriages. I also liked this. This is like to carry your iron, right? I thought this was cute. And then they have like a little apron, and then here is like something, I guess, to hold your utensils and stuff like that, I guess. So this was another one that I was looking at, and then this one actually, like, the retail is like, wow, this one's more. This one's like $21.95. So, and you know, if it, and there's a little thing, see, and this one is supposed to be easy to sew. Okay, so I'm trying to get to the easiest stuff, because it's not that I don't like embroidering anymore. I love embroidering, but it's just that I really want to start learning how to sew and do better in my sewing stuff. This was another one that I picked up, and these are just little tote bags. I don't think I'll use this one though, but I kind of like this right here, okay, because it's like you can put stuff in here. So I thought this would be pretty useful and stuff. And even like a little bag like this might be useful also, to put like sewing threads and all that kind of stuff in there. So I don't know. I'm kind of iffy about this one. I'm not too sure about this one and stuff. There was another one that I had, and I don't know where I put it, but it was for and I don't have it. It's in the other room. Oh shoot. There's another pattern where it's like you could sew something to put in a mug, and I want to see if I can sew that as well. Oh, where did it go? I don't know where I put it. I had it out too. I don't know where it is now. Oh, I must have put it somewhere. Can't blame Mello. Mello's just sitting there, laying there. Let's see. Mello, where did I put that sewing thing? Do you remember? I don't know where it is. Oh well, okay. So anyway, but just to give you guys an idea, so I'm actually going to do sewing for the Christmas of July, because I should have more time, right? I should be able to sew, and I'm pretty excited about it. And the thing is, these are patterns that I have purchased a while ago, and I just haven't used it, right? So to me, I'm like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity for me to start using these patterns, because I paid $1.99 for it, so I have to use them. And at the same time too, I was thinking, if I actually get really good at this stuff, especially like certain things like, the sewing mat and stuff and everything, I always see people go on Etsy and they create like some of these items, right? They create some of this stuff, and then they sell them on Etsy, and I'm like, oh, so I'm like thinking, if I don't know if I'll be that good, but I'm going to try to be as good as I possibly can. And then I was like thinking, that would be pretty neat if I could like create stuff, and then if it comes out really good, then I could go and I could sell them on Etsy too. So if I have extra fabrics, I can make extras, and then see if my sewing skills can bring some income as well. Right, Mello? He walked away, so I guess he doesn't agree. He doesn't agree with me. So, but yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it. I'm like thinking, oh, this is gonna probably be pretty neat to try, and I kind of like I have this vision of doing like the tote bag, and then putting like nice little other sewing goodies inside the tote bag as the gift. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. So I am going to videotape as I sew them, okay? So you guys can see what I do if I, and maybe you guys will see like what I messed up, you probably will see that. I'm going to make sure I use my sewing guide and everything. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about this. My sister is a better sewer than I am, but she's more into like the quilting and all that kind of stuff. That's her thing. Mine is mostly the embroidery. So embroidery is like, that's really my passion. But I actually want to get into the sewing world as well also. I was able to sew 2 shirts for myself. I bought a sewing pattern of a shirt, and I was able to do that. I will tell you, I was a little scared when I wore it to work the first time, and I even had like an extra shirt in my bag, because I just had this vision that the sleeves were going to fall off or something. I'll be sitting in a meeting and all of a sudden the thread just comes out and everything. Because, you never know. I made the shirt. So, but no, it held up well, and it even went through the wash, and it's still good. No holes or anything. So I was like, okay, so I did pretty good on that. And I really liked making the shirt because I was able to use my serger for the shirt. Because if you look inside a lot of like t-shirts and stuff, you notice that they, when you look at the stitching inside the shirt, you could tell that it's from the serger. So I was able to pull out my serger and actually use the serger from my shirt. And then there was just a couple, like the hem at the bottom of the shirt, that I actually used my sewing machine on. So, I was pretty proud of myself for that. I'm going to tell you the one thing, though, that I will say I don't like about the sewing is the cutting of the patterns. All right. That takes a long time to cut patterns. I think I was talking with Miss Banks about that one day, because I think she asked me, about, how come you don't do more of the regular sewing? And I said, I don't like doing it because, first of all, you got to take the pattern out. And then, I sometimes, well, with these patterns, it's okay to cut them out, right? And use these actual patterns. However, though, with patterns with clothes, the patterns come in different sizes, right? You got your small, medium, large, or whatever. With the clothes patterns, I was always told that it's best to trace those patterns, and then on tracing paper, and then cut the pattern out. So because what happens is, once you cut that pattern, you kind of like just have that pattern for that one size. So let's say you have a pattern for a shirt, and it shows you which is the outline for the small, the medium, the large, the extra large. Well, we were all small at one point, right? And as time went on and we all started getting old, our small went to medium, medium went to large. Before you know it, you're at extra large, So you may have to remake that shirt in the next size, okay? So in order for you not to actually go off and have to rebuy the pattern, you only want to buy the pattern once. So they told me, the best thing to do with those types of sewing patterns is just get tracing paper, trace the pattern, and then where you trace the pattern on that tracing paper, you cut it out and just write on that what sewing pattern is and what size, and then you use that to cut the fabric. And then you take your regular pattern, the one that you bought from the store, and just fold it up again, put it back in the envelope. That way you don't ruin the pattern, So, yeah. Oh, Rita said yes. And you know what? Yes. She's got a good point there too. She said, if you buy the digital patterns online, you can print it out again and cut it out in another size. And I have done that. I have, but if you don't have the digital, that this is one of the reasons also. One of the things, like Rita was mentioning, the digital patterns, what I like about those is that first of all, you can just store them on your computer, and then, like she said, you can reuse them, and all you have to do is print out the size that you need. That is, to me, is like fabulous, and I love it. Okay. The only thing is you would have to print out all the pieces and then tape them all together, right? But whatever, it doesn't matter. You're gonna trace it, you're gonna spend time tracing it, and that takes time, or you're gonna tape it together, and that's gonna take time. The bottom line, you're gonna be spending time with the pattern. Okay. So those, to me, what I like is that you don't have like all this stuff all over the place. Because I will say, I remember my mom and my aunt, when they used to, be sewing a lot and everything. This was it back in the day. I remember going with my mom and having to sit in the chair while she went through these books, right? And then after she went through the books, she went through the drawers, right? And I remember I used to be like, oh, hurry up already, like I want to go home. But and that's funny because now I'm the lady that's going in there looking through the books and picking the patterns through the drawer. So isn't that funny how life turns out? But anyway, but this was the only way that they were able to get patterns back in those days. And when my mom, because this was it, you had to get these. Okay, there was computers and digitals and stuff like that. They didn't have any of that. Now, what I really do like is you can get the digital ones and you're not using space. Because I remember my mom would have a box of these. Okay. And yeah, and so and these things take up space, and before you know it, you could end up with, if you like to sew a lot and you went this route with the patterns, I mean, you could end up with like boxes and boxes and boxes of this stuff. Now, I am going to tell you this though, I do find it, and I don't know if you guys know of a place where you can get sewing patterns cheap, right? I do find that when I go to Joann's and I get these patterns for $1.99, I think it's really is a good deal. Now, it does kind of suck because it is not digital. It's just a paper, and of course, you're going to have to do the storage. But for me, $1.99, that's pretty cheap. I mean, I really like that, okay? The digital ones that I have found so far, they're not $1.99. They actually cost more. Unless you guys know of another place where you can purchase them at $1.99. I don't know of any. Every time I've gone to some sites and everything, they're usually like $4. I think is the cheapest that I've seen when they're on sale. So to me, I kind of look at it as, all right, I could spend $4 on one pattern, or I can spend $4 on 2 packs, right? So that's why I've kind of leaned towards the paper because of the cost savings, right? So it's kind of like a trade-off. It kind of depends on what's really important to you. But I only bought a couple of these. I didn't buy like a lot. I haven't been going like crazy. If I end up seeing that sewing is going to be my thing and I'm going to be buying these things like crazy, well, I don't know. I probably will still do the $1.99 because I'm real I'm very frugal when it comes to stuff like this, and I would probably be like, well, after a while and stuff, and I drop dead or whatever, Nancy can have them, or or my niece can have them, or donate them to a school or sewing school or something. That's probably what I would tell my husband, to donate to a sewing school, and I'm sure they would love to have them, so that they can teach people and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't know. I think though the embroidery machines, I know for sure Nancy will come and pick these suckers up in a minute. I know that. She'll be like, well, I know Jeanette wanted me to have this, which is true. It would go to Nancy and Gabby, that's for sure. But yeah, but anyway, guys, that was color sort, and then I got into sewing and stuff like this. So I don't know. So and Jane's saying yes, digital patterns are good for cutting and keeping them. Yeah, and I've done that. I bought one digital, but then I actually got into these. I'm gonna blame Nancy because when I went to Florida, we sat around the table and stuff like that, and we started looking through patterns. And then when I saw that they had patterns for these things, and I was thinking to myself, shoot, you go to YouTube and you see a lot of people doing this stuff, especially the box pouches. But what ends up happening is sometimes I don't cut my stuff right, especially the corners. Okay, so we'll see if I get it right this time. So I'll actually do a video when I do this, and see how that goes and stuff. And one thing too that I noticed is like right here, I took the pattern out. I can never ever for the life of me fold these things back the way they were. So usually what I'll do is I'll just put them in. Now I did hear from someone too something about ironing these patterns. I don't know, like they iron it or something. I'm not sure. But I'm like, I wouldn't iron the paper and stuff like that. But and I know that envelopes like these, you can actually pick these up, like a pack of these in Amazon. And I know some people that do the digital patterns, what they do is when they print them out and they put them together and stuff like that, they will actually go and buy. They sell envelopes like this blank, and then they would go ahead and, oh, Debbie said yes, the brown paper is ironable. I didn't know that. Oh. Yeah, Rita. Okay, and Rita did. Thank you, Debbie. I didn't know that these are. Yeah, I heard of it, but I wasn't sure, and I was like, I don't want to put my iron on it, and then all of a sudden I burn it up. There goes my $2. You know. I'd be like, well, there goes $2 right there. You know. And stuff. And then Rita says, yep, I have gone on YouTube and I have watched them. I am telling you, I am not good at doing the box corners. It's like everything comes out good, Rita, but when it comes to the box corners, and they even tell you to pinch it and then, draw the line and then sew it, I always end up with one corner one side, the other corner another side, and then I'm like, you know what? And at first it looked nice, and then it looks all messy. So, but I'm not giving up. I know it's just a matter of figuring it out and doing it right. So I'll get there. I know I'll get there. Oh, Ozzy said I made 2 12 by 12 decorative pillows for my sofa and embroidered them as well. Love them. And I like to sew something a bit more challenging. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really want to get more into sewing. I really, really do and stuff. And then, another thing too is that I know people sometimes that what they do is they sew stuff just because they like sewing, right? And then, they have so much stuff themselves, they don't really need the item. They just wanted to sew it. So what they do is they sew, and they sew a whole bunch of it. They try to sell it. If they can't sell it, they just take it and they donate it. And which to me, I was like, that's not a bad idea, sewing stuff and donating, because if you think about it, if you like, there's another idea too, like walkers, right? I know there's a sewing pattern, and I saw it in Joann's. I should have picked it up because one day I might need one. If the day comes that I might need a little walker, I may want to sew. They have these little bags that people make, like little pockets and stuff that people tie it on their walker. And I was like, that's pretty neat. And I know that if I could get my hands on that pattern, I become very good at sewing that attaches to the walker. It would be really cool for me to like just go ahead and see if I can sell. If I can't, then I could make a whole bunch of them, and then I can go to a retirement home or an assisted living facility or something like that, and I can just drop off a bunch of them and just let them know and say, hey, I like sewing, and I don't want to sell them or anything. I'll just give them, I'll just probably just drop them off and say, hey, here's 10 of them. Maybe, you can give them away for Christmas, or if they're playing bingo, it could be a bingo prize or something like that. So I'll probably do something like that, but, so I've heard of folks that do a lot of quilting and all that kind of stuff. That usually what they'll do is they just sew just to sew because they like sewing, And and then they'll make so many of them, and then they just like give them away and donate them. So I kind of like that idea, because it's just, you never know, you brighten somebody's day. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, to you, it was just something to just keep your mind going, and something that you enjoy. But for the person that's receiving it, they kind of like, it's special. So it's kind of like when we do the gift exchange, right? It's like, you're getting something that somebody made for you, and it's pretty special. So yeah. So let me see. Oh, the Walker bag. Debbie says the Walker pattern is a rectangular. You can do it without a pattern. You could probably find it free online. Oh, then I'll have to check that out, Debbie. Let's see. I think by Annie has a pattern for a Walker bag. Yeah, and those are, I have to tell you, the Walker bags are pretty popular. I have seen folks with the Walker, and it's not just for the women, okay? You can make them really nice patterns, but for the guys, you can make like a solid color and stuff like that. And then guess what? Even if you create the bag, you can embroider their name on it. If you're doing it for somebody, embroider their name on it, and they'll be like, oh, that's nice. You know what I mean? So, to me, it's just, stuff that I'm thinking about, and stuff. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to do sewing for the gift exchange, guys. That's what I plan on doing. Yeah, if it comes out really bad, I don't think it'll come out that bad. Maybe it may not be perfect, and I'll just give it to her anyway. But I'll also throw in something embroidery, which I know will be perfect. Okay, so that way she can really have something really super nice. Even though I know that whatever it is, I know they're going to be grateful for it and stuff like that. But I want them to really have something nice. So yeah, so I am going to do my thing on sewing. Tomorrow, what I have planned is I'm meeting a girlfriend for dinner. Well, it's gonna be like we're meeting at 2 and stuff, just to hang out and everything. And then after that, then I'll probably come home, and then I'm gonna take out that sewing machine. Hopefully, I don't have orders. I'm all caught up on my orders, thankfully. And I still have to work on this dog. That's not going too well, and I know I'm almost there, but yeah, I got to keep working on it, because for some reason I can't get someone to really work the head right. So yeah, but I'm gonna keep going and see. After this month, if I can't get it, I'm just gonna have to tell Beth we're gonna have to find another way. I think sublimation may be the way to go. So I think, and if sublimation is the way to go, I think the crafty Puerto Rican is out there. I'm gonna have to reach out to her, and I'm sure she can help me with it and stuff. And I'll probably throw the order her way and see if she can come up with something, because it's a beautiful artwork, and I want it. I mean, it's just a shame, because I think I'm so close to it. I just have to get the head right, and it's the mouth portion. And let me show you the last stitch that I did, so that way you guys can see what I'm talking about. And it's so simple. I just have to talk with Fossil. This was not the last. This is, yep. Okay, this is the one that Fossil fixed. No, this is the last one. I'm so close. I'm just so close, and I don't know what to do. It's like I don't want to give up. But let me show you guys. This is the dog, and this is the part that is, to me, where's the pen? And I know I'm being a perfectionist, but look at the front right here. This See how that little bit of stitching comes out? It's like it's not aligned right here. I feel like that needs to be black right here. Maybe I should reach out to Fossil again. But see, that's the portion that is not there. It's not right. The body, everything else, which I thought was going to be so super complicated, perfect. And then this one little area where I thought it was going to be so simple, that is where the problem is. And the thing is, the problem with this is too, is that this is the logo for a champion dog. Okay. He rated #1 in the world. So the way that breeds are in these dog shows, there's just, it's all about perfection in their physical, right? So we can't, nothing in the design can be off, okay? Because it's a champion breed. So because it's a champion breed, it has to be perfect up on the head, especially in this area, right? So that's why I have to be very particular about this. And I know the customer is going to be particular about it too, because this is a logo that's going to go on multiple items. It's probably going to go on jackets. It's probably going to go on sweatshirts. It's going to go on hoodies. I'm going to have to make patches out of this as well, because it's going to go on chairs as well. It's going to go on bags. It's going to go on towels. So this is not something that is like, oh, it's just a one-time thing. So that's why it's really important that we get it really down packed. And been working on this now for like 2 months and stuff. And, and she is so patient. But the thing is, she's used my services before, so she knows, and I know her expectations, and she knows how I work. And I like working with customers like that, because they don't mind giving you the time for you to take the time that you need to get it perfect. And at the same time too, is I know that once I have this down packed and I'm good, I'm golden, and I can create the other products that she needs and stuff. So Jenny, I'm definitely gonna have to reach out to you, because if I can't, how many stitches is 36,000 stitches for the dog? Yeah, this one is 36,000 stitches. And I'm thinking, and the thing is, the picture, and I want to see if I can bring it up and show you guys what the picture looks like. It's an artwork, right? And the customer did the artwork because she's also an artist. And let me see, where's the thing with Fossil? She's an artist, so there it is. How come I can't get to him? So it just has to be perfect. And where are you, Fossil? I think I'm in the wrong thing. Oh, shoot. You know how things never work when you want them to work. It's like, oh, okay, I know that's him, but I think I'm using a wrong account. Yeah, using the wrong account. That sucks. Okay, let me go back in here. And let me go in here. Share a thought. It's not. Oh, I can't get stuff here. Okay. And I don't have my phone with me. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, hold on. I have it here. So I can bring it up here. And I can show you exactly what it looks like, because there it is. I'm thinking this is the actual artwork, so that you guys can see. Oh, let me see if you guys can see it. This is the artwork of the dog. And I really love the artwork. I think it looks gorgeous, right? So this is my thought. So as you can see, I'm almost there. Okay. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Okay. It almost looks the same. Okay. Just a little bit of mini changes and stuff. But it's the head. And if you notice the head of the design, see how the front of the dog is, his mouth area, very, very detailed. So that's important. The only thing that I'm thinking of is if I can't get the front of the head of the dog done right, one of the things that I was thinking was sublimation patches. And it may not be the answer for everything, but we could take that artwork and probably sublimate it on a patch and see how that works. The only thing that I am a little bit afraid of with sublimation is I don't know the longevity of it, right? And I keep hearing good and bad things about it. So it's gonna go through the wash a lot. There might be a lot of wear and tear. I even bought sublimation paper, and when I feel it, which is this right here, okay, I have bought this. This is sublimation paper, and it's supposed to be for patches. But I'm gonna tell you, I have it, and I know I can probably sublimate on it, and then I can probably embroider a patch around it. I just don't know how durable this is going to be after several washes. I cannot break it, that's for sure. It's like cutaway, because I tried to see if it tear, because I was like thinking to myself, this kind of feels like paper, right? So I'm like, is this going to be like paper where you know it's not gonna wash well? Maybe like after 10 or 15 washes, this is gonna like you know be like tearaway paper and start going away. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm just not too sure about the quality. And that's the problem that I have. Now, I have seen that some people have used this and they've created patches with it and stuff. But like I said, my thing is it's truly about quality. Like a lot of times, a lot of you can do certain things, but I always tell people, can you do stuff? Yeah, but think about how you're going to be using the product too. So you can actually see if it's going to be something long lasting. Because the problem is that sometimes you can create something and it comes out really nice in the beginning and it looks gorgeous, and then you're like, okay, this looks really nice. And then when the customer takes it and washes it, after a couple of washes, it looks like crap, right? Because they didn't wash it right, or maybe that was something that really shouldn't have been embroidered, right? And that's the other thing too. A lot of times people think, you can embroider on anything. You really can't. It depends on the material and it depends on the design. Sometimes some designs are so dense, and they'll come to you with a shirt that's so thin, and it's like, and you explain to them and you tell them this is very, very thin. Maybe you really need a blended fabric. It should be like cotton polyester or 100% cotton, something stronger. And sometimes people are like, they really think you can embroider on anything. And I'm one of those people that I am a true believer that you really have to know what you can do and what you can't do. Now, and if somebody asks me that they want me to do something, I'll let them know right off the bat and say, this is not something that is going to last you longevity. Okay, and the embroidery is eventually going to crunch up, or the stabilizer isn't going to work and all that kind of stuff. There are certain things that I don't think should be used for other things. I know like a lot of people have done the 3D puff embroidery on clothes. I am iffy about it on certain clothes products. Okay. If you have like a t-shirt that's very lightweight and you put 3D buff embroidery on it, I don't know how that's really gonna look well in a wash. And I don't know how long you can really wash it for it to is it really gonna last? I'm kind of iffy about it. Some people say no, you don't have a problem with it. And okay. But it's iffy for me, so that's why I won't do it. I don't like. Mm-mm. If I'm not sure about something, I'm not gonna put my name on it. That's really the bottom line. Now, if somebody asks me, can you do 3D embroidery on a jean jacket? Absolutely, because I know how they're gonna use that and how it's not gonna be washed that often. And at the same time, I know about that type of fabric, that strong fabric, so that can withhold um 3D embroidery, just like hats, right? That's why you see 3D embroidery a lot on hats. It's very popular on hats. If you go to lids, you'll see it all over the place. Okay, you see 3D embroidery all over the place. But I say jackets, awesome. Bags, I would do it. Hats, definitely. T-shirts, no, I don't want to do it. I would be like, no, you're gonna have to find someone else to do that. Sweatshirts, maybe. I'm not. It depends. Okay. Because you can have a real thin sweatshirt too. Okay, so you got to think about the longevity of certain things. That's the only thing. Um, let's see. And I know, okay, so I know Jenny is mentioning some stuff on sublimation. She's really good at sublimation. She knows. That's why I'm like, I would reach out to her to see if she can help me, because can't fix it what you want. He can, Rita. It's just that I have bothered him so much over this design. And and he's been really, really helpful. I just don't want to bother him too much, but I am gonna have to go back to him and ask him and stuff. And for this design, and let me tell you about this one. This one, the whole file was already designed by someone else, right? So the customer actually bought the PES file for me, and the PES file wasn't to par, especially around the head area, right? So one of the things that I told her was, let me go to Fossil so he could fix it. So Fossil did make adjustments already twice for me, and he didn't even charge me for it. I mean, which I was like, send me an invoice, and he was like, no, and I'm like, so I don't want to bother because he doesn't want to charge me. But I'm gonna have to talk to Fossil. I'm gonna say, look, Fossil, you got to charge me something, because we're going back and forward a little bit too much, and your time is money, and I don't want him to ever feel that I'm taking advantage of him, because he's a really super nice guy. So I am gonna go back to him, Rita, and he can fix it. I know he will. I just, I don't know. If you sublimate on 100% fabric, it is permanent. Yeah, but see, I'm looking to do the sublimation patches, so I have to look into that. And then I was also thinking about this, and this is what people usually use to sublimate patches on. So I don't know. We'll see. So convert the image in a PG. I can do that. I'll do that. Hey Kim, how are you? Your Gainesville neighbor here. Oh my God, how you doing? Let's see. Sublimation is to be done on polyester. Yeah. And it looks better and it's permanent. Yeah, Kim, I just have to see. I mean, I just have to see. And the thing is that artwork is just gorgeous. And I gotta be honest with you, when I look at the artwork, right? And then I look at the embroidery, I understand that she wants the embroidery because embroidery is really like solid, right? And she wants it to be long lasting, and I got that. But I just feel that that design and sublimation would really pop, because sometimes with designs, and this is the thing also that I sometimes tell customers, is that they often feel like that you can take any type of image and you can turn it into a stitch file. My thought on that is it's a yes and no. And if you guys have seen any type of like portraits, you know, it depends on how the digitizer did it. Sometimes they look almost like a picture, and then other times you can tell that it's a stitch out. It's not a very similar look as the actual artwork, right? Because you know, art, artwork is done with ink, right? So you have that smooth thing, and you can do a lot of details when you're doing art. But when you're doing stitches, you're talking about stitches, right? So stitches can be long, small, short. Sometimes you don't get that level of detail as the actual artwork. So I always try to tell people when they bring me their artwork for it to be converted, I tell them it should not have too much detail in it, because the more detail in that artwork, first of all, it's going to cost more because it's harder to do in stitches, and most likely they're not going to be you're going to have to go back and forth with the digitizer, just like this. Okay, when she went to a digitizer, and she said they went back and forth so much, and this was like a final, right? I have the first one. Where's the first one? This is the third stitch. No, this is the last stitch. Where's the other stitches? I have, well, I think oh, here it is. I have, yeah, you see, this is how many times it stitched it. This is the first time that it got stitched. Yeah, this was the first time it got stitched, and it still came out good. But as you can see, the front of the head, and there was a space missing under the beer, right? Because if you look at the artwork, there's like a little space underneath the beer. That's important, okay? That's part of the breed, the champion breed. That's important. It has to be there. So the space isn't that noticeable, right? So Fossil had to fix that. Then this is not dark enough as it was in the artwork. So Fossil had to fix that. The rest of the body seemed okay, but she had a lot of changes done originally with the first digitizer. So as you can see, it's a lot. That's why I tell you guys, when you are looking for a digitizer, make sure that you're using someone that you can actually have a good relationship with, a good business relationship with. Because if you end up getting a design that is kind of complicated, and you go and you give it to people and you tell them to digitize it, and then they go and they digitize it, but you need modifications made, you're going to probably have some digitizers come out and they say, well, you paid, I gave you a file, and that's it. That's as far as I go. And some digitizers don't have that communication with you. Okay, I've had a couple of digitizers that I've worked with where they were like, once I paid, I got my file, I couldn't even talk to them anymore. They didn't answer my emails. They didn't say, hey, let me help you out or anything like that. It was like cut and dry. It was like, okay, transaction over, done. And I'm going to be honest with you, those are the digitizers I don't use ever again, okay? Because I like digitizers where you can work with them, because they make mistakes too, okay? So you could have someone that digitized the file, made an error, and then if you made an error and you disappeared on me and I can't get you to correct it, that's a problem to me, because I paid for something that now I can't use because you didn't do your job right. So that's why, to me, when you're working with digitizers, you want to make sure that you have someone that you can work with, okay? Because the back and forward has to happen, okay? So that's important to me. Sublimation becomes part of the fiber as long as you use 100% polyester to said, yeah. And that's, I'm thinking, I think I might try to do that. And then Palms Customs, hey, you can sublimate directly on white embroidery thread because it's 100% polyester. That's a very good idea. Onto the patch you stitch out. Palms, you might be on something. You're right. It is. It's 100% polyester thread. If I just create a blank patch using polyester thread, and then I thank you for that. You may have given me an idea and stuff. And Angela Stitches says, I would like to try the puff embroidery. I've done it, but I do it on hats. I do most of my puff embroidery on hats. I do want to do a jean jacket with puff embroidery, so I'm probably gonna do that because I want to make one for myself. Yeah, but that was a pretty neat idea, Palms Creations, that you just gave me. I think I'm going to give that a shot. I mean, hell, what's the worst thing that can happen if it doesn't work, right? That means, but I don't see how it cannot work because you're absolutely right. It is polyester thread. And like Crafty Puerto Rican said, if it's 100% polyester, I should be able to put that sublimation on there. I just got to make sure my sublimation printer is working because I don't hardly use it at all. And that's a bad thing too, because the ink can dry up and all that kind of stuff and everything. So I got to make sure that sucker works. If not, I'll probably be reaching out to Jenny, going, I need your help. And I will probably send her some blank patches to see if she can get the image sublimated on that. But I don't know if the customer is going to want sublimated patches, but I want to give it a shot so that she could see that there is another option out there, just in case we can't get this design packed, down packed. Yeah, because I think the sublimation probably will give the perfect detail, right, of the dog. I would love to be able to do it in embroidery. This does take a while to stitch, okay, because it's 36,000 stitches. It does take a while to stitch, but when I look at the body of this, I have to admit, I love it. I really, really, really love it. The only thing is, like I said, the head. I really have to perfect the head once, and that's why it's like I want to do the sublimation at the same time I don't, because I just feel like I'm almost there, guys. I am almost at the finish line. I just have to fix this portion right here. If I can fix this, the rest of it is golden. So it's like I just feel like I'm like 95% there. So, and I don't want to give up. I really don't. And it's like, it's frustrating because I'm like, I'm almost there. And and these are moments when I wish I did know how to digitize, because I would be able to go in there and probably try to fix it myself if I could. I don't know. And this is the thing too. I don't know if because Fossil's almost, he's really good at what he does. He really does. And sometimes I wonder if I just if the fabric shift on me, and maybe that's why I'm getting that little bit of gold there. And but the thing is that the design has to be straight, because if the fabric did shift, I see my dad's playing with Mello and stuff, got him barking. If the fabric shift, what's going to happen when I do sweatshirts or polo shirts or other types of fabric and stuff like that. So that's why I have to make sure that I got this right. Okay. And I'll get it. It's just going to take some time and everything. So it's okay. And this is the perfect time right now because I'm not that busy. I've gotten a lot of my bulk orders done and out the door. So, and I'm sure they're going to start coming back in again. But I have this downtime where I can actually focus on this. And I'm going to be honest, this is the stuff I love to do, the hard stuff, because I feel like it's like a puzzle that you're trying to like figure out, right? And these are the type of projects where you really learn a lot. That to me are challenges. When people come to me and they say, "Hey, can you just put my name on a bag or this and that?" I'm not saying I don't appreciate those because I do. But the thing is, it's not really much of a challenge, right? It's because it's like all I have to do is just what font you want, print it out, make sure I hoop it right, use the right color thread, and then I'm good to go. Did you get in trouble, Mello? I mean, that's all it is. But when it comes to this, I feel like an artiste. I feel like I'm an artist and I am creating something beautiful. So, yeah, that's how I get my high off of these, okay? Because I feel that it's I don't know, it's you get that feeling of like true accomplishment, like wow, look what I did. I love these. And then just like this one, this was another one that I was like super proud of when I saw how the dog came out with the cigars and all that stuff. I was like, oh, that's hot. I was like, oh my God, I love the way that this came out. I was like, see, that's nice. Okay. So stuff like this, it's like I love it. Now I have other stuff. You know, this it came out cute, but it's simple, right? It's just simple. The only thing about this is make sure you use the right needle with the right thread, right? Because this is small fonts, but see how you can read that clear, okay? If you use a 7511 needle with a 40 weight thread, you wouldn't be able to read Georgetown in the bottom. But see how clear that came out? So this to me is not a challenge because it's really knowing what weight thread to use and what needle size. That's all it is. Once you have that down pat, you're fine. And then like with this wasn't much of a challenge. It's simple, right? Real simple. Echo Foods, when I did their stuff, simple. This is really simple too. I didn't think this was much of a challenge either because this was all 60 weight thread at the bottom, small fonts and stuff. This, love doing this. This was another one of the that I thought was great because this has detail as well. Okay. And they loved it. And they actually used another digitizer before. I mean, not digitizer before, another person to embroider their stuff before, and they really weren't happy with it. But then when I did their logos, I took, because they didn't have this digitized, so I got it digitized and stuff. I think Fossil did this one for me as well, and oh yeah, they just fell in love with it and stuff. So you got to pay attention to detail, guys. That's one thing. I mean, and that's why, a lot of times when people get into embroidery, they're like, oh, it's so easy. It can be depending on what it is that you're doing. If you're just putting names on stuff, then heck yes, easy pleasy, right? But if you start getting into more complicated work, such as stuff like this, okay, then it can be a little more challenging because there, you not only do you have to understand about different weights and needle sizes, you also have to understand about what you can embroider on, stabilizers, and all that other stuff. So, it becomes a little more broad, right? And you have to plan, right? And that's the one thing that I notice a lot of people don't like doing is they don't like to spend a lot of time thinking about it, looking at it, analyzing it and stuff. They just want to like hoop it, stick it in the machine and press the button, not even think about it. And that's where, to me, I think a lot of people make a mistake, because that is where you are kind of limiting your ability to grow. Okay. There's a lot of different types of embroidery out there. You just have to find out what it is that works for you, what you like doing and stuff. But like I said, if you're just putting names on stuff, you really don't have much to learn. This is another one that I showed you guys last week. Remember the crest? I was really proud of this one, you know, and stuff. So, I mean, but this just wasn't going to work with the shirt that they wanted, right? The shirt was too thin. So I was like, it's not going to come out really good and stuff like that. But look at the details on that. Isn't that gorgeous? It just came out so clean. So clean. You can see the wording and everything. Very simple. And then this is the other thing too. You got to know what colors. I want you guys to take a look at this. When you're looking at the crest, pay attention to this area right here. Do you see the leaf? See the different color blues? Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. When you are embroidering, it's so important that you pay attention to these types of details and stuff. And that's sometimes I feel like people miss the mark. They don't pay attention to the detail, you know. And that's important when you're working on this kind of stuff. So yeah. So guys, that's about color sort. And would I color sort this? No. Wait a minute. Let me take that back. No, I would not. I would not. Because you have black in the background, okay? And then you also have black on top of some of the design, like right here, and then right here on the gray. So you have black at the back, and then you have black on the front. So you would not be able to color sort this, because what will happen is all the black can be embroidered, and then when the gray goes to get embroidered, it would go right over the black, and you're going to miss out on these little details, on the details of the crest. So this is not something that I recommend color sorting at all and stuff. So yeah. But just, just know that. Just know that when you're playing around with that feature, the best thing to do is use that stitch simulator, so you can make sure you have a very good understanding of how those colors are going to lay out on that design. The last thing you want is to, mess it up, right? So that's the best thing. So like I said, sometimes you can go ahead and use color sort and you don't have a problem. But then there's other times where it's not really recommended. And like the other lady said, sometimes when you buy these designs, they specifically do tell you, please don't color sort, because they know that it is really going to distort how the design stitches out, and you're not going to get that end product and stuff like that. So guys, I am going to call it the night. I hope I kind of explained the color sort feature in the, really well in detail. And I hope that cleared up a lot of confusion regarding color sort with Embrilliance. Like I said, it's a fantastic feature. It's just that sometimes you really have to watch it when you use it, and know that it's not for all the time. Okay, there's going to be instances where it's not advisable that you use that. Make sure you learn the difference. Make sure you use that stitch simulator, so that way you can be okay on it. Okay. So on the post, did you use special weight thread on both sides of the font, the small one? Yes. Okay. On the Rita, yes. Okay. On Bowler and on the tree, it's 40 weight thread. On the stars that you see here and Georgetown, that's 60 weight thread. Okay. The needle, this right here on where I have 40 weight, okay, thread, I use a 7511 needle. On the Georgetown with the stars, this is a 65-9 needle with 60 weight thread. Okay, that's how I did this one. Okay, so let me see. Yep, I think I got everybody's questions. Oh, look at that. I have seen that done before and it works. Embroider a patch in white and then sublimate on it. Thank you, Crafty Porter. I'm going to give that a shot. I am definitely going to give that a shot, and I'm going to see if the customer likes that because I really want to see if I can get all those details out there. So, guys, I am going to call it the night. I am a pretty tired, and I do want to get some rest because I had a really rough week this week. Yeah, and I am going to meet my friend tomorrow for early dinner, and then after that, I'm going to come home. I'm going to start sewing my gift. Okay. So, so please remember, if you're part of the gift exchange, make sure you have those gifts mailed out by, I think it's July 15th. And then at the end of July, we're going to be doing show and tell. So, guys, thanks so much for spending Friday evenings with me. As always, I really appreciate all the support. If you liked the information that I provided you today about color sort, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. That really helps the channel a lot. It really helps the channel a lot also with the thumbs up as well. I really want to see this channel grow and, and do well and reach out to more people so I can help them as well. So you guys have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you next Friday. And happy sewing and happy embroidering. So I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.